Guys, we're going live. I'm trying to get rigged up. The wind's going to be a bit of an issue because it's friggin' blowing, but I'm going to try to rig up. And we did a live earlier on fishing kind of open water fish, and I told you guys I'd do something fishing a brush pile. So I have no idea how this is going to go, but we're going to try to fish a little brush pile in the wind, a little evening fishing as the sun goes down here. And that is my last three pieces. Nice. I'm out of date. But I got to rig a couple things up real quick to get set to go because I didn't think it was going to be this windy out here, and I'm never going to feel like I got like a half-ounce jig tied up, and I'm literally never going to I'm never going to feel it down there. So I got to kind of upgrade some of my weight sizes in order to get fishing. So give me just a second to be patient with me. Let me cut this thing off and upgrade. Wind is usually a really good thing for doing this kind of stuff. It just makes it difficult to feel the bottom unless you got a little weight. And I've been fishing pretty light finesse stuff, so I gotta step up my game here a little bit. We're gonna try to not catch them on just a Ned rig and a drop shot. That'd be a nice change of pace, wouldn't it? Now I'm tying up a 3/4 ounce football jig, and I'm also going to get out a little heavier weight. I think for my drop shot once I get it rigged up. We're gonna start these fish off, I think, with like a hair jig or something like that. See if we can't get a few bites. But here's what I just did. I just tied up like a big old football jig right there, and I'm gonna get out a little heavier weight for my drop shot, like I said, and I'm gonna tie up an extra heavy Nico rig really quick. Just to get down there and stay on the bottom. I had that magnet on there because I was fishing some shallower brush. I got Bog with me. He's hanging out and in dire want of a bass catch. So let's see if we can't make him happy and make me happy and catch a few bass fishes. I don't know what the wind's gonna do. I don't know if it's gonna make it better or if it's gonna make it garbage. But we will give it a try. We're already set up on it, all lined up and that. I'll try to get you a few active target looks at it, but the wind kind of makes it a little hard to adjust the boat too, so I gotta be on my A game, if you will. I'm gonna come back there and talk to you guys in just a second. I just tied up a Mag Nico rig. It's that guy right there. That's a Demiki. I think it's a 5/16. It's got a bigger hook than I'd use in Alabama, but I catch bigger fish down here usually than I do in Alabama. So I want something stout. I got it on 12-pound test and a Halo TI. It's just a medium action, 7 foot. So got that rigged up. Now we're gonna go in the back of the boat and grab out a little heavier drop shot weight because if this wind doesn't lay down, I'm never gonna feel a 1/4 ounce in 20 feet of water. So we're gonna have to upgrade a little. When it's windy like this, or if I'm fishing deep with a drop shot, I'll go up to a 3/8 ounce weight. I use these little West Coast drop shot weights. They're pretty awesome and they're super duper cheap, but hopefully we won't have to get there. So let me toss those in my cup holders, which look a mess. So how you guys doing today? Everybody hanging out? Anybody go fishing today? I know it's Wednesday? So I just put up a video yesterday. If you guys want to go check it out, it's a hair jig video. I'm going to try to actually catch one on a hair jig here in just a second. But basically what we got in front of us is it's a pile in about 20 some feet of water, and it's kind of, it's not that tangly. It's a little more like open. With that being said, I'll probably end up hanging it. But there's a lot of fish kind of suspended over it. Let's see, going out this evening. Awesome. Glad to hear you're getting out, dude. There's nothing better than being out. Windy, rainy, whatever. I hate the rain, but it's nice to be out. And especially it's hot out. It's beautiful. Bog just took a swim, so he kind of cooled off and worked all day. So it's time to kind of play a little bit. But what we got is it's some kind of structure. I actually don't even know what it is, but it's not super tangly. We're gonna try throwing like a hair jig and a swim bait at it to kind of get it started because there's a lot of fish up above it. What's going on, Sean? Yes, Bog is here. I'll turn you guys towards him. You see Bog right there? he's, he's sleeping. He got all wet and cooled off a little bit. The dude, so I came out to the ramp, and the dude like usually goes to the bathroom and like goes and sniffs around and does all this stuff. And that joker went straight to the boat ramp, walked about in about a foot of water, and laid flat out, dude, and just laid there. I'm like, do you want to go fishing or are you just gonna hang out there? But we got a structure up in front of us. It's about 30 or 40 feet up in front, about 20 some feet of water. What I'm going to do is kind of go through my cycle of baits. I have no idea if we're going to catch them. There's definitely some fish on there when I scanned it. I just sideswiped it so I wouldn't drive right over it. That's something that I normally do when I have like a structure where I know there's fish, but I don't want to like get all crazy driving over it a bunch of times. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of guys make is they want to see so much that they kind of they over idle it. Love taking a pit bull. Yes, you can't beat pit bulls. I love these dogs. What's up, man? It's good to see you guys too. What was I even? I lost my train of thought when we started talking about pit bulls because I started imagining all these memes on pit bulls. But we're gonna see if we can catch some fish. I'm gonna go through my rotation of baits that I use on some of this brush, and I'll come back and talk to you guys in just a minute. But I'm gonna make a few slangs, see if we can't hook up a little bit. Fish are above. We're gonna throw some moving baits to get started to see if we can target some of those fish that are up a little ways. Oh, by the way, for you guys who are watching, how's my sound? I put a little like muff thing on this microphone, and I'm hoping it improves because the wind is like freaking cranking, dude, which could be good. So I figured we'll shoot it. But I'm kind of curious. I'm trying to get this live stream set up kind of tight. So how's the sound coming to you guys? Are you guys hearing me clear? Or is that wind really washing me out? But what I was saying is we're going to fish some moving baits, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to drag this thing and see if we can pick up a few fish off the bottom. Sounds been good. Awesome. Sounds way better. That's what I like to hear. Good feedback. So I can actually fix things for one. But I'm going to go up there. I'm going to crack open a Coke Zero and chill out and see if I can't catch a few fish. And then I'm going to come back and talk to you guys, see if you guys got any suggestions for some bait changes to make to approach some of these fish. And hopefully we can take a look at them on active target as well and see what we can do. So let's go fishing, guys. All right, Bob. You think we can catch a bass fish? Sure would be nice. All right. So funny story. You guys are gonna see a review video on this thing. This is Salzman's new hair jig that he's got, and literally I think I have the only one in the country. I bought the last one from Tackle Warehouse because I lost mine. It's a badass hair jig, dude. Badass hair jig. So first up that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a look at my active target and try to line these fish up. And I think they're right about there. We might be a hair far back, but I can't 100% tell. But I'm going to throw that thing out there. I got it on a 12-pound test on an XD3 Pro. And I'm going to let it go all the way to the bottom because I believe I cast it past the pile. But it's going to sink for a bit because we are a little deeper. It's a medium action rod. That's what I throw all my hair jigs on. So it's down on the bottom. So I'm just going to kind of reel it up. And I kind of just do this like a quick kind of like 4 or 5 reels. I'll let it sink back down. And then when I pop it back up again, it's really kind of finding the sweet spot of where they're suspended at, as well as not getting hung on the brush, which is very tricky. But hopefully we can pull it off and maybe get a bite. And I just let it pendulum back down on semi-slack line, not like super tight line, not super slack line. And it sort of just swings back down. If you guys watch the video from yesterday, you can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. But it's a good way to kind of get fish fired up and fish over the pile without actually kind of getting inside the pile and getting, I don't know, like whacking it a whole bunch. Because what we're going to end up doing is we are going to, got it. I watched it go back down and I saw the active target. That's a decent one. Look out, Bob, look out. I love catching them on a hair jig, dude. Like, absolutely love catching them on a hair jig. Dude, she crunched it, boys. But I actually saw a group of fish. Let me get her back real quick. I actually saw a group of fish follow the bait out, and it's kind of a cool thing to watch with the active target. I got them fired up, so I'm gonna go back and fire back in. But I watched them follow it out, so I kind of let it sink back down to the bottom past the structure, and she went and knocked it just as I let it sink back down. They eat this thing though, dude. It's an awesome hair jig. All right, let's see if we can line them back up again. What I'm doing when I kind of look over the bow of the boat, oh, that's a terrible cast. Hashtag real fishing. I'm looking at where my transducer is pointed because it doesn't line up exactly with the arrow on my trolling motor. So I'm looking where my transducer is exactly pointed when it shows me that pile, and I'm trying to create like basically a connect the dot deal. I'm trying to line up my cast with where that transducer is pointed when it's on the target that I want to hit. You know what I mean? So she freaking smoked it though. That's a good sign. Maybe there's some big ones down there. What you doing, Bog? You need some water, dude? I'll get you some water after this cast. So I'm getting down to the bottom. I'm down there. Just a little closer to the bottom. I'm gonna not go as high with the bait as I was. The art of the hair jig is fishing it in kind of like no man's land, like where you're not feeling anything because you're not on the bottom, but keeping it in the zone where the fish is, doing just enough reels so you kind of get to the top of where they're suspended, but then not over reeling it, I guess you could say. Because you don't want it way above them, you don't want it way below them. You want it in that sweet spot. I think I was in that sweet spot. So. The only problem with a hair jig too, though, is once you get it close enough to the boat, your cast ends. You don't get as much distance as when you're dragging. Let me get this dog some water, dude, because it's hot out. It's like 90 degrees out here, even though it's whatever 6:00, 6:30 at night. All right, we're gonna make a couple more casts with this hair jig. But one thing that I find with these piles is you don't want to overfish them. A lot of guys that I see out here on all of these lakes, actually, they'll find like one good pile, which is really cool, but then they'll sit on it for like 6 hours and they'll beat the piss out of it, and they might catch them from time to time. But there's two things. One, a lot of this stuff is about fish management. You don't want to beat the piss out of them because what ends up happening, you do it one too many times, and all of a sudden you go back to that, and they're not there, and they won't be there for months, dude. And the other thing is, hold on. The other thing with some of this structure fishing is, in my personal opinion, there's always fish biting somewhere. So if you're on something and not getting bit in like the first two or three casts, it's not because the fish aren't there. Maybe it's more so that the fish are not in the mood, and you need to get moving and go look at some other stuff, because there's always fish biting somewhere. Maybe not the fish that you want to catch, but I really do think they're always biting somewhere. They're always catchable somewhere. And if you don't think that, you're not going to catch them, because you got to stay halfway positive attitude about stuff. Got all excited when that first one ate it. Now, being kind of needle-dicked about it. Might need to drop the boat back. Followed it back out again. That's a cool thing with that active target. It's sort of distracting, but it does keep you in touch with what's happening. I've had a few places that I fish where I'll get 2 or 3 bites, and all the fish that I'm seeing on the screen just dissipate everywhere, like they're gone. And if I was just fishing normal, I wouldn't know that was happening, because the only way to know is to actually be over the top or to idle them. And rarely will I do that. if I'm fishing something that I know has fish, you end up just wasting some time and sitting there fishing it too long. But with this thing, you can kind of see when they're done with the ball game. You know, like when they've had enough and they don't want to play anymore. Wind is cranking. They're down there, boy. And they're actually following the bench jig out. Or they drop straight back down. It's probably nothing. Usually when they follow it that far, they're not going to put a deal unless you're dragging them. A couple more casts like this. So we're probably going to switch pace. I got this thing like 30 to 45 feet out in front of me. It's usually about the juice of casting distance because you want to cast it past the deal and then kind of bring it on into it or bring it over it. That's exactly what we're doing here. It looks like there's actually a lot of fish on the bottom. So with the wind, it kind of creates current. And sometimes that wind will make the suspended. The bait will still suspend, but all those fish, oh, dude, he freaking knock it. Okay, maybe we're gonna fish that just a hair more. Dude, that's twice. That's the cast. That is the freaking cast right there, boy. I mean, smoked it. All right. Make that cast again. There we go. So the reason I knew that they smacked it, basically it was penduluming down, and I felt thunk, and then I let it sink all the way back down and went to reel it like 2 or 3 cranks, and another joker kind of hit it, or I ran into a fish. The first one was definitely a bite. The second one, I might actually hit a fish. You'd be amazed after using this active target. I knew there were a lot of fish like in places that wouldn't bite, but when I tell you there's a lot of fish in places that don't bite, there's a ton of fish in places that won't bite your lure, but they'll look at it, they'll follow it. So a lot of times you can actually run into them, especially if they're stacked up kind of thick. Smoke it this time. I think that's the cast. There he is. That's a better one. Of course, there's a guy right behind me. That's actually a big one, dude. No, he come off! He come off! Dude! He might have been snagged. Yeah, so check this out. There's a scale right on there, and I think that the fish might have been snagged. There's some dude who just drove right behind me, like probably like 30 yards, and I'm sure he waypointed me. So if I ever see some dude out here, I think it was a Ranger, a Power Pulse, I'll know what went down. You gotta be sneakier than that, dude. A little bit sneakier than that. It's now officially a community hole though, so if I see a bunch of people out here, I'll just, oh, and he's gonna go sit out there. Yep. Wonderful. All about everybody fishing everywhere, but don't just pull up on people. It's no fun. So I don't know how big that fish was. Felt bigger, but if it was snagged, you can never tell, dude. I snagged an 8-pounder and thought it was 10. I snagged a freaking 3-pounder and thought it was 10. So it's kind of a crapshoot. Look at that, bub. All right, so where's my cast? Right. like I said 10 minutes ago, we'll give this hair jig about three or four more runs, and then we will switch baits and go something a little bit different. Really, dude? Wow. So I'm gonna turn the camera and show you guys this because it's kind of hilarious. He's just like idling around me. But whatever, it's part of the game, right? I'd rather catch an 8-pounder than worry about him. Yeah, that should have been light, dude. I think I screwed up. Maybe I didn't cast it. There we go. That should be the cast. There is a giant group of fish that just freaking followed my lure. This active target sucks and it's amazing at the same time. I got a 5/8 ounce hair jig. It's that shuttlecock. It's Saltzman's hair jig. It's one of my top three. I like this one. That Cumberland one is awesome, and then my standard. Oh shit! How did I miss him? I need to quit talking about lures. They're higher, dude. Cause that bait was like, I think it'd be like 5 to 8 feet off the bottom when he freaking hit it. Wonder if I could catch him on a scrounger. Of course, these guys are running away now. That's cute. Alright. See if we can make this work. I got the cast. I just need the fish to do their part and close the deal. Come on, homies. Let's get an 8-pounder. That'd be stupid, dude. That's what I said last time we were on live, though. Get that bait a little bit higher than it was. I think I want him to eat this thing too bad. I missed too many bites on it. Might need to mix it up here. My mind. Maybe one more cast, a little more over. Right there. See it for that. Might be a little way too far over, but sometimes these jokers kind of swim around stuff like they're. I think we talked about it in the last video. Like they get kicked out of the tournament series because I'd fish these brush piles, but I wasn't fishing the brush pile. I was fishing their school of fish that were, I don't know, like 30, 40 yards like off the pile. And like a lot of times, you know, you get so focused on the structure that you kind of forget, like, relating to the pile doesn't mean they have to be on it. Like, they can be next to it, they can be near it in some manner. They know it's there, like they can see a lot better than us, and they're aware, self-aware, Bob. Got him that time. Get it on the ball. It's a very big one. I can't tell. What you got, Bob? Oh, it's a solid one. freaking ate it too. So that was kind of like, look at, well, oh dear, we're not gonna do that. That was amateur right there. Amateur hour on live, homies. That little ballsy. See how you got the hair jig right there? Freaking chunked it, and I felt him whack it, and I don't think I was anywhere near the structure. So you get her back real quick, make another cast, and then I'm gonna come hang out with you guys. She smoked it. But I gotta see if I can make that cast again. All right, there. Yeah, that's a good cast. They all freaking came up with her, dude. I gotta figure out a better way to, like, when I bring these fish like off of the structure, like even when you're fishing a school and they all come with the one fish, there's got to be a way to kind of like get the fish in, get her released really quick, or throw in the well, whatever you want to do, and then like drop vertically to these fish, because there's so many that I'm noticing with the active target that come with the bass when they're in pods like this, that there's no doubt that you can, especially say you catch like a 5-6 pounder, there's got to be another 4 or 5 like with her that didn't eat the bait. Like I've seen it too many times where they kind of like headbutt each other, or you'll see one come up with the fish that you just caught, and they're fighting over the bait that the one got. Like, come on, that should be it. Oh no, that's really freaking bad, because that is the only hair jig like this that I have. All right, we're gonna scoot you up and try to get this thing out. Damn it, that was so dumb, dude. If I lose this hair jig after freaking, oh, it came out sweet. All right, we're definitely not throwing that anymore. That was a scary moment in my life, dude. It was a very scary moment in my life. So I'm gonna come back there and talk to you guys for a second. Let me just check the hook on this to make sure I didn't do something stupid. And I'm gonna come back there and talk to you, and then reset the boat real fast. And I think I'm either gonna throw a swim bait or I'm gonna drag this deal, but I need to reset the boat before I do that. Give me a second here. That's another reason you guys can't see my graph, but I leave my tracks on all the time. And what it allows you to do is see exactly where you have the boat set up. So I can go and kind of get behind it, turn the boat. It usually shows up as kind of like a dot, like a smushy black dot, because that's where your boat was going back and forth. But I can get right behind it and kind of scooch right up on it, and that seemed to be a good cast length, a good cast basically, which is what you're trying to do when you're doing this. But I can put the boat right in that zone. You got to kind of time it a little bit with the with the spot lock, because it'll kick you back. But I think that's good. All right, I'm gonna come back and talk to you guys. Let me grab my Coke Zero here. So, all right, what do you guys got to say? What's going on, Small Water? How you doing, dude? How many people we got in here? 76. Do you have an offset? Okay, so that's a great question. Do I have an offset waypoint for boat position? Hells no. Because as you're seeing right now, the wind's blowing this way. Well, tomorrow the wind might be blowing that way. Wind might be blowing that way. Every time you come out, you need to adjust. And if you guys watch some of the videos, especially the videos coming up, we go in depth. I think actually a couple of videos ago, we went in depth into how boat position can play a role when you're fishing this kind of stuff. It basically how your bait is presented. Like you might hit a log or a tree or an angle, like there's some kind of angle or curvature to whatever structure you're fishing, and the only way you hit it is if you're fishing it out of like the southwest or something like that. And so sometimes, for the most part, I'll fish into the wind, but sometimes you need to adjust and hit the structure in a certain manner in order to get them to bite, because they're set up on it in a certain manner, either because of the structure or because of the bait. So just a reminder too, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, go and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'm going to try to do more lives like this once we get back up to Alabama. I've been able to do a lot more because I've been really close to the lake, but I enjoy doing this stuff. It's cool to kind of come out, kind of take on the challenge of catching a few fish on a live stream, which until you actually try it, Don't tell me it's easy because it'll get in your head a little bit, dude. You got to perform. You got performance anxiety, but it's a cool way to kind of hang out with you guys, hang out with Bog, and get out at the end of the day. What we got? Come out to Blue Cypress. Really love to see picked out like a park. I would go to Blue Cypress more. The problem with Blue Cypress is it is in the middle of freaking nowhere, dude. I shaved the other day actually, yeah. So I look all so fresh and so clean. If you guys know actually it's '90s rap, I think. Well, Drew, thank you, man. What's up, dude? It is a perfect day for fishing. It's a little hot, but it's bound to cool off very shortly. Thank you for your support in the super chat, dude. Really appreciate it. What else we got? What's going on, Glenn? You're laughing at me. Everybody's laughing at me, dude. Bog, they're laughing at me. Why don't you get vicious and like stand up for me, dude? You're sitting down there sleeping, man. The dog is so freaking lazy, bro. Well, we caught a few on a hair jig. So I think we caught two. Yeah, we caught two. We snagged the one that come off. I'm pretty sure we snagged. So I got probably another 4 or 5 other knocks other than what you saw. Let's see here. What do we got? You're going fishing at 3 a.m. tomorrow, man. I haven't pulled that off in a long time. I mean, into hair jig Santa Fe, dude. Hair jig on Santa Fe, I think would be killer. You got to use something maybe with a little bit of chartreuse or something bigger, but that'd be good. Wind still roars when facing into the wind. Damn it. Yeah, sorry guys. I know that wind is a problem, but I can't control Mother Nature. She's not been favorable to me. So let's see here. Yes, I actually, Wes, I'm gonna be up there for like a day or two, maybe on my trip back to Alabama. So ask the guy on the boat next to you if he has any great. That's good. Dude. Pardon me. He's got to be like 35 or older though to get that joke. Yeah. So anybody can fish anywhere. Don't get me wrong. I don't care. But the trick is just be a little bit polite. That dude freaking was probably like 40 yards behind us, slowed down, drove. Nobody knows this stuff that I'm on. I mean, there's a few people, but like people don't know it. So the reality is he kind of like marked me, and then he went and he drove back and forth. So like basically what you do, I'll teach you guys how to bojangle spots if you want to know the sneaky way, because that's not the sneaky way. What you do, my PB is 13.4. Actually, if you go back in the videos, you can watch it. I got it all in video. It was an epic day offshore. But if you do want to steal somebody's spot, here's how you do it. You stay like a quarter mile away, and all you need to do is line your boat up with them at 3 different positions and drop a waypoint. And I guarantee you, if you scan a circle around that, you'll be able to figure out what they're on or what they're fishing, unless it's something absolutely sneaky. So you don't even need to pull up on somebody like that guy did and drop a waypoint. You can be sneaky and halfway polite about it. So that's my my little 2 cents. But it is what it is. The beauty of this is the fish move around a lot. They might be on something for a while, but they get pressured, they get beat up, and if they're always on the same stuff, 90% of the time, I won't catch a single fish. They move, you learn more, you figure stuff out, you adapt, and things change. And that's the trick. There is no magic spot. Like there's stuff that's good for a while, and then it's not. So it's the reality with any fishing. That's why you can't get too hyped up when guys are like on your ass, like on fishing spots and stuff. I mean, like you want to be polite, but don't worry about it too much. I'm ready for fishing tomorrow. When you picking me up? I don't know if I'm fishing tomorrow. I gotta catch up on some more work. I've been kind of running behind, so. But I think I'm gonna go drag this stuff. That's delicious. I should seriously like I don't do sponsorships, but I would like a Coke Zero sponsorship. Like before I had a little bit of money, I would buy a freaking Sam's Club Diet Coke. It was horrible, dude. Actually, it was pretty good. I didn't mind it, but Coke Zero is much better. But you guys are kind of glowing to me, so the sun is setting. I'm gonna go and see if I can't drag a few up, or maybe I might throw that scrounger through there and see if I can't get one to bite. Nico rig is coming up. I'm definitely gonna. I want to throw one more moving bait through it that kind of rides up a little. I think the scrounger is the direction I'm gonna go. But I want to kind of reel through it because I got a lot of bites that I didn't close the deal on when that hair jig was like up a little bit and just started falling. So that scrounger will kind of ride up a little bit. I don't know if it'll work, but it's kind of windy out. Moving baits should probably be the ticket. So I'm gonna give that a shot. Am I in Lehigh? No, I'm not in Lehigh. I moved to Alabama, man. All right, I'm gonna go fishing here. Bog, should we catch another fish? I'd highly enjoy that. Alright, so I'm going to grab this scrounger. I guarantee you're going to see that hair jig once more before we end this video. But what I got is same rod, XD3 Pro medium, 15-pound fluorocarbon. That is a Scottsboro soft bill scrounger, 3/4 ounce. And I got a spunk shed on the back. It is not the color spunk shed I want to throw. I'm not a big colors guy, but I don't like throwing freaking straight white. That was a horrible cast, dude. I don't like throwing straight white. I like it to either have like a little smoke or a little green in it, just something to offset it. Because white, when you get on water and look at white, like it's bright, dude, like super bright, too bright. But I'm gonna let that thing sink down. I got it on an SLX. This is a 721. Might be a hair fast for doing this, but I try to fish it kind of slow. There's some more fish that showed up down there. The cool thing about taking a break too is sometimes these fish kind of reset. And we talked about how they sort of followed the boat, or I'm sorry, followed my bait back to the boat. And sometimes if you let them for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes and just stay spot locked, they'll actually kind of reset how they were, whether it's on a shell bar or a structure or something like that. Alright, so we're gonna pop that thing up a little bit and let it go back to the bottom. Slow reel it. I would love to have one smoke it. Get some big bites on this scrounger, they come off, dude. And it's the holy shit. Yeah, it's sort of the catch-22 of fishing a scrounger. Scrounger's kind of like a spoon in a way. If you hook one on a scrounger, you're gonna get like one jump, but you better like tow that joker in, dude. I brought them all with me. I screwed up all the time that we had paused because I brought them all with me. But yeah, the scrounger, I don't know why it is, because like this Scottsboro one has a pretty decent hook on it. It's probably like a 5 or a 6/0 hook. It's pretty wide. It's a little stout for my liking, but it is what it is. But they flop around, and I don't know if it's the bill on there or what, but I've lost more bigs on a scrounger than any other bait, even probably more than I've lost on a spoon. At least on that Mag spoon, and even a regular spoon, you put it on like 20-pound test, it's on some kind of flipping stick, so you can like drag them in. The art of the spoon is just keeping pressure on them the whole time, and if you do that, and you got a good neck guy or you boat flip them, you can usually land them. It's just got to do it right. I fish this kind of like a hair jig sometimes, where I'll kind of fast reel it up. But there's definitely an art to scrounger fishing. If I can show it before though. I don't know when I'm cast close. I think I'm a little close. I need to drop back. So the brush ball is showing up at like 30 feet in front of me. So all I'm going to do is turn my spot lock off for 2 seconds and just let the boat drift back like 5 or 10 feet, because I think I'm too on it. Because you got to remember, you're casting out and your bait's kind of penduluming down a little bit as you're fishing it. So you kind of want that structure a little ways out. I think that'll do it. That looks a lot better. Especially if you want to make a longer cast. On these moving baits, they fish a little easier when they're away from the boat. If you ever tried fishing a swim bait, like literally right under the boat, your rod tip's pointed down, and your line's going out perpendicular and hooking a fish, you like break them off, or it's all awkward in that. So it's a little easier to fish like further out. Now when we start dragging some baits, we might move up a little, because it's a lot easier to drag a boat kind of right next to the boat. Drag a bait right next to the boat. But this moving stuff, you need to have a little bit of space. I need my space, bro. I see 2 freaking giant ones down there sitting at the bottom of that damn pile. And I really hope they eat my jig when we finally get to that point. probably prefer to get it to a big spinnerbait. I got like a big 1 ounce nickel depth raider that I probably should have tied on, but I had some fish they were like schooling on top a little bit the other day, like in like 25 feet of water. So I tied on a top water on my other rod with braid and the reel off. Like I might find that spinnerbait down there. Might have to drag these fish though, because I can see them kind of going to the bottom. There's definitely still some suspended fish, but there's a lot of fish down towards the bottom that are kind of making dots and that. But I'm gonna run the scrounger. One of the beauties of the active target is I can kind of see where this target is. I'm running the scrounger kind of along the side of it. I'm gonna see kind of like what we did with the hair jig, if I can get them to react on the side, because I can put some fish kind of off to the side with these two things. Dude, they are right there. I can see their asses down at the bottom. I don't know why they want to eat the scrounger. I'll make one more cast with the scrounger and then going up with the shells. Once you put down the scrounger, I think what I'm going to do, I got that 3/4 ounce football jig. I'll probably put that through it once and kind of get a feel. If I get knocked a couple times and they don't eat it, that's kind of usually when I get that signal like, hey, go to a straight plastic presentation, whether it's like a Nico rig or maybe a Ned rig, even a drop shot or something like that. I really should eat this stuff. So I reeled it up, and I just boxed it because it's kind of cleaning up. I might have to put a tear jig out on it. They're on this uppity thing, like where you bring the bait up. A bunch of little minnows that just jump. Let me grab this hair jig once more and make that thing cast. That was they want to eat, dude. Like I can tell because they're darting around a little bit, but I might have to drag them, kind of like I said. But I'd like to get bites on the moving baits because it fires them up when that happens. And it's just I don't know. I enjoy catching my moving baits. The wind's blowing, like everything in the Fishing Digest tells you should be throwing some moving stuff. I really can't hang this hair jig either. I have one. And that is it. A little bit higher. Snipe off one of those guys right at the top. Few little jokes. I'm gonna have to drag these first, dude. Frog, you sleeping? How many people we got up in like 75? Very nice. You guys enjoying these live streams? Are they kind of cool, or is it a bunch of wind and watching somebody else fish when you want to go fishing? That's kind of what I would imagine. Come on, big. Might have my rod up a little bit high to be doing that. I'm like 20 something. Usually I'll keep it a little bit lower. That one knocked it right there, but it kind of felt like a brain. I'm hitting the juice with it, boys. Are you kidding me, dude? Please come out of there. Cannot freaking lose a hair jig. Got a little too frisky with it, boys. A little too frisky. Please come out. Please come out. Oh, come on, man. Oh, might have to get out the plug knocker on this one, boys. I feel like it's fishing one. Yeah, no, it's on the bottom. Alright. I think I have a plug knocker. And this is not what I want to do on the brush pile that we're going to fish, but I need this freaking hair jig, dude. So we're going to spot lock. Let's see if I can knock this thing out. Without losing my rod here. You see it all here on Mikey Balls Fishing, right? So my buddy made me this awesome plug knocker, and I don't get it out that much, which is why it's all tangled up. But we're going to try to untangle it and send it on down to the bottom. Basically, what a plug knocker does is it jams against the bait and helps to kind of unseat it pretty much. But it's also kind of a messy process. And what's really gonna suck is it's literally in the heart of the brush pile. So it's probably gonna screw up our fishing, but I want my hair jig, so we're gonna give it a try. So what you do is you kind of pop it into the little coil on there. You pop it into there. And keep your line kind of taut. Oh, come off. And oh, come off! Ah! All right, we're not throwing a hair jig anymore, homies. I don't know if the weight on the line bumped it or what, but that's kind of awesome. Bug, can you mind my plug knocker? So a plug knocker, if you guys haven't ever seen one, is something like that, something with some weight on it that you can slide down your line, and it's almost like what you'd imagine like a hammer. It's kind of you're hammering the bait back to try to kind of unseat that hook. Heck yeah, enjoy hearing all the juice. I don't know if a plug knocker is juice, but I'm sure as hell glad I got one in the boat. That hair jig is $12.99 on Tackle Warehouse, but right now I think it's worth probably like $50. I don't mind losing baits, but when you can't get it, when you can't re-up and get another one, that'll hurt your feelings a little bit. All right. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm sick of freaking hanging my hair jig because it makes my heart rate go up, and yeah, you can wrap line around a bottle. Hell, you can even take if you got if you need to do it, you don't got a plug knocker. If you guys got buoys inside your boat, you can take the weight off, like a bell weight off of there, and just kind of clip it to your line. Like take a little swivel clip, clip it to your line, and send it down, and just kind of like lift your line and bonk it. And one of two things is gonna happen: you're either gonna break off, or you're gonna get your stuff back. So, all right, I'm going to drop back here. No more hair jig until the very end. And then if we lose it, we lose it. It is what it is. There's a bunch of freaking fish down there, though. Oh, should we throw that jig down there? See if we can't trigger them. So what I got tied up right here is a 3/4 ounce jig. It's a football jig. It's got that stouter hook on it. If you guys go back, I got videos on all this stuff. So if you guys ever have any questions, you can go back and kind of troll through the channel, and you're probably gonna find anything that I talk about a little more in depth. But I got a little stick bait on the back. It's Damiki Stinger, and it's wacky rig, which is something I like to do just to keep it a little bit different. And I got on 15-pound fluorocarbon, a 7-foot medium heavy Halo TI. A little Daiwa, I forget which one this is, the XS Elite or something like that. It's a little more compact reel. It's good for kind of dragging applications and stuff like that. I gotta swing this boat here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and drag this thing and see if being a little slower, I can't get them to react. And then if that doesn't work, I'm gonna try to lose some Nico rigs in that same garbage where I hung the hair jig. But I'm gonna use the Akitard to kind of reline where I'm at. There's a bunch of them, basically on our side of the structure, coming towards us. And I think those fish, the only way to catch them is to drag on them. So we're not gonna over. There we go. We'll see. That wind will not calm down, dude. It's not supposed to be blowing this hard. It's 7 o'clock at night. I'm gonna slang that football jig out there. I probably cast it a little too far. I pulled this up, like I was talking about before, I pulled this up on this thing a little bit further because when I'm dragging stuff, it's a little easier to hit your mark as well as keep contact if you're closer. Plus, if you hang up, the higher your rod tip is, the easier it is to kind of work your bait out of whatever you're in. So if you're a little closer, you get a little higher point, a higher connection with the bait going down. If they show any interest in a football jig. Been catching a few, just not big on a football jig. It doesn't mean they won't chow down. It is that bewitching hour. The sun starts to go down and the fishes start to bite. Over. I just dragged this thing along the bottom. You notice I'm not all up in the air, kind of, shaking it and all that. All I'm doing is kind of slowly side swiping it. It gives me better bottom contact, as well as if I do feel a structure. See how I kind of went up with my rod? If I felt something down there, whether it's like a limb or some kind of piece of junk, I can always kind of change my angle to kind of walk the jig over the top. There's a million of them in front of me. I just don't know if they'll eat a jig. wind is freaking railing, dude. She's about right in them. Something awful left. There's some bigs down there, dude. See them kind of scooching around. They're not staying set up, though. I think one of the difficulties I've been having. They're kind of moving around a bit. Those probably gonna get bit right there. Should be right in the juice. I changed the angle on the boat a little bit. I mean, that might not actually be a good thing. But it's kind of tough with this wind to angle correctly. Got to show them something else. Hey, one more cast with this, and then I think what I'm gonna do. I really didn't want to throw a Ned tonight because we've been throwing the Ned a whole bunch. But I think what I'm gonna do is grab a Ned and see. There's a lot of fish. I think like I got a lot of bites on that hair jig, and there's a lot of fish that I think are either they're up or they want something that's a little higher. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna swim that Ned over the top, and then depending on what happens there, we're gonna move forward and try maybe a little more finessey stuff. Maybe put that Nico rig down there because I can see a whole row of them right next to the pile, down on the bottom as well, which is counterintuitive because we got those bites a little bit higher in the water column. But you can't argue with where you're getting bit, right? Definitely not like this football jig. Even like getting a really good bottom contact, and I can actually feel where I'm at. God forbid you should feel the bottom and feel exactly what you're kind of riding through. It'd be too easy that way. I haven't hit the thing that I keep hanging the hair jig up on yet. I don't know what the deal is with that. Over more? I think one more cast. Further out, just to get a feel for what we're gonna drag that Nico over, anyways. Like I said, though, you never want to overfish this stuff. We've been on this for what I consider probably a little too long, but obviously we're shooting the live stream and that, so I'm not going to run around a whole bunch, especially with the way the wind is. But even beyond just sitting on a pile too long, you don't want to fish one bait too long, unless they're just gnawing at it. Like the more times you drag it through, and the more times that you show them something like the same thing, I think the more neutral they get. Like the more sort of decensed or whatever, incensed. I don't know what the right word is. But they don't react to it. They don't care. Like at some point, they're like, "Dude, the hell with it. I don't really care. You can drag that thing through another 25 times, and I'm not gonna do a damn thing about it." What do you think, Bob? Oh, somebody knocked it. I knocked something. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't want a jig, too. Like sometimes I just want plastic. Yeah, we should have got bit. Screw this. Alright, so before I pull out that Nico rig, I'm just gonna grab this Ned, find my line, and slang that net out there. I'm gonna let it sink all the way to the bottom. It should be lined up. I'm just gonna kind of slow reel it. And see, I might bust out a swim bait in a second to go through it, but like I said, I don't wanna beat them up too much with a bunch of moving baits that they're not gonna eat. We might just have to get kind of slow and maybe get out that drop shot. Definitely going to throw that Nico for a minute and see if we can kind of pick up any stragglers. What's really nice with that Nico is I can kind of throw it around the pile, and they don't see that kind of stuff a lot because it is more of an open hook presentation, and guys don't want to throw it through this stuff. I don't really want to throw it through this stuff, but sometimes that's what you got to do. So let's see if we can knock a few off, though, on this Nedster as the wind continues to blow. This is a 1/4 ounce approximately Ned with just a little fat eighth on the back. And I'll give it like 4 or 5 reels, and then I'll just stop and let it pendulum back down to the bottom. It's on an 8-pound test on a little 610 spinning rod, medium action. Like it's super light kind of fishing. But sometimes it's what it takes after it's already gotten fired up and it's not about it anymore. My cast is off, dude. Way off. That's the cool part about the active target. The boat shifted around, and our line was kind of straight out from the boat. And I kind of looked at the active target I was spinning around on my trolling motor, and it's like right over here. So, see if that fixes our problem of hashtag not getting bit. No bites here. Awesome cat. Might need to readjust the boat. Saw him eat it. He's very big. Yep, decent one. My lines, I was watching my line pendulum down, and it jumped, and then it kind of flattened out, and I was pretty sure I wasn't on the bottom yet. But it just goes to show you, like, taking something that's a little more finesse and busting it out after you gotten a few bites on like a moving style bait. Like we didn't get a bite on that drag deal. I also readjusted my cast, as you guys saw. Let me get her back real quick. But you got to really fish kind of in real time. I hate to say it, fish the moment, you know. But I definitely was off. So I'm gonna make this cast once more. I might go and throw that jig. It's right about there. That was terrible. I might go and throw that jig in the same place because I definitely was dragging outside the strike zone from what I'm seeing now. Because there's still fish down there. You can see them. Is that good, Bob? Did you enjoy that? How about we catch a bigger one? Yeah. Can you help me with that? Should we tie a line to your tail? Sun's going down. It's absolutely beautiful to be out here. It'd be nicer if it wasn't freaking raining. But whatever. There's worse places to do that. That's why you have to use that brighter braid on your spinning setups, because there's no way in hell, if this was green braid, that I would have seen that fish bite. Like, I didn't even feel him bite. I snatched it and put it on. Huh. Followed the bait back. I just opened my spool and let the bait drop down like right next to the boat because it looked like a couple followed it on the active target. So I'll give it a few little pops, maybe drag it for a second, but I'm not gonna dick. But holy shit, they were all down there. That was stupid, dude. All right, so we are going to go like that and let it sink all the way down because there's literally like 30 fish down there in front of the boat, waiting for my bait to be delivered. There's my bait falling down. I'm behind them, which is actually not a bad thing. Just be on the bottom. They're just gonna kind of, this is smallmouth fish pretty much, dude. So I saw them. They're still under the boat. They're actually literally under the boat. But I'm just gonna drag my bait back to me here real quick. Like I was talking about earlier in the video, where some of these fish follow your lure out, and you think there's an opportunity to drop on them and catch them because they're interested. But catching them directly under the boat is always very hard, and you can't do much with the bait. It's not like you can move it a whole bunch because you'll get it off target. And you're at a weird angle too because it's vertical versus like out there. Ain't no dice there, boys. Alright, so I'm gonna grab this jig for a second again, and I'm gonna make that same cast I did with Ned. Look at him. Right. Right. Right there. So I adjusted my cast. I kind of re-angled. Sun setting. We're gonna have to wrap this thing up. How long have we been going, guys? 10 minutes. We'll probably go for a little bit longer. I'm good. Bill drinking. Everybody drinking beer, chilling out. Very nice. I too need to arrive at a point of chilling out. Still got to make dinner and all that, but I would really like to catch at least a couple more bass, especially dragging. It's fun getting that bite when you're dragging a jig or you got it. You're dragging a worm or dragging a jig. Something's happening here. I think I'm up in it right now. That's definitely the cast you need to make. I will not be throwing my hair jig in that direction. Now the art of this is if I can figure out exactly where it's set up with this active target, I can take that Nico and kind of go right around it. First, let's get a bit on this jig. I am up in there. I don't know why the hell they won't bite something off the bottom. They're down there. Literally, I can see them. I'm gonna drag something through them. They're not cooperating. That Nico might be a good play. This jig just might be too much fun. They get screwy too when the sun sets. Like they're definitely like sunlight fish. Alright, screw this jig, dude. It ain't freaking happening. If worst comes worst, we'll put that drop shot down there, but let me throw this Nico out at once. There. I catch some bigs on this Magnico. It's got to be right, but like there's something about it that they cannot stand, especially around flush. I'm on the bottom with it. I kind of fish the Nico in the same way. It kind of stands up a little bit on the bottom. It's got that nail weight in the head, and then it's wacky rig. But I'll give it a few twitches from time to time. But I'm not sitting there going. It's sort of just kind of dragging, and I know that worm's kind of doing that U every once in a while. But they wanted it like really slow on the bottom. The ones that I've caught dragging, or you got to kind of go up over the top or something and pop it off. Now, if we weren't on a live right now, I would probably throw that hair jig 2 or 3 more times. Well, I'd probably reline the boat, throw that hair jig 2 or 3 more times, and GTFO and run and try to hit like 2 or 3 more things before the light goes down. But because we're doing the live, I'm stuck here. So because of that, fish do seem to be elevated off the bottom. I just want to see if I can get them to bite at this point, or see if maybe if I can catch one and get them refired up. So I'm gonna grab this drop shot, a little robo worm, and slang it right out about there, and let it go to the bottom and see maybe if we can catch like another little 2-pounder or something. Maybe get them fired up, or at least get an idea of how they're set up. Because as of right now, we've went from 100 miles an hour to kind of 0. So let's get things back up and running. And if it takes me getting that 8-pound test and a drop shot, I can handle that. That was weird. Yeah, it's definitely over there. We need to drop the boat back. We need to readjust. You can call me stupid for a while, and then all of a sudden, I'm gonna punch you in the face because that's me being stupid. Look, I'm gonna adjust here and get back behind it in a little bit better manner. I think that does have something to do with it. You'd be amazed how much angles can play a role between getting bit and not, especially when you see them down there. I can see them jokers down there, and they should be biting. That might be it. It's definitely off. Alright, let's see if the results are a little bit better. I'm gonna come back and talk to you while this thing sinks to the bottom. I missed that comment. Cool, we still got about 80 people in the house. So who's going fishing this weekend actually? Bog, you want to go fishing this weekend? I know you do. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And the 69 thumbs up. Great job. Tournament Saturday. Well, good luck, Tony. Make sure you treat them fish right, dude. It's gonna be hot out. Hey. I got like 3 or 4 fish. All like 2.5 pounds or so. I did miss, or I lost one bigger one, but I think she was snagged, so it's hard to tell how big she was. We kind of had them fired up right at the beginning of the video, and now they are not so fired up. So, it's 75 degrees. That's pretty comfy, man. That's what it is at like freaking 4 in the morning here, maybe for like 2 minutes, but probably not. I don't think it drops below 80 sometimes. It looks like the sun's going to kind of wrap this up. KBF, nice. Well, good luck at the event, dude. I'm going to need some good luck to get these fish fired up. All right, I'm going to slide back up, see if we can catch one more, and then I'm going to come back with you guys and wrap this thing up, all right? Yeah, the moon is actually what's screwing me. I hate a full moon during summer, dude. Full moons suck during summer. During the spring, it's all fun and games, but during the summer, full moons suck unless you're night fishing. And we were definitely not night fishing tonight. But I'm tempted. Ooh, oh, my bear, watch this, boys. I was about to say before I was so rudely interrupted by something bonking my deal. So I was gonna pull up on this and cast backwards and throw 10XD to it. I don't think I'd catch any, but you never know. What the hell, dude? I just bonked it. One more cast with this drop shot right here. Might drag the Nico on through. And then we're going to wrap this thing up. Because it's going to get dark. And I'm going to go eat dinner. But it's fun hanging out with you guys like this. I kind of enjoy it. We will do it more once I get back to Alabama. We're probably going to do one more this weekend. And one more live before I wrap everything up and head back. But definitely tune in. I'm dropping a video tomorrow. It'll go up, I think, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. And there'll be a bunch of more videos to come. And then we'll get back into our Alabama fishing. I heard it was good up there for a while. And it slowed down a little bit. I'm excited to kind of see. It is my time of year. That punch and bite and that grass bite kind of kick in. I hope we get a good frog bite this year. That would be a lot of fun. There's so many fish fish down there. I'll catch them at the bottom. They're on the bait too. Alright, we're gonna run some bait through this. That's enough of that dangle dicking stuff. Actually, I'm gonna run Ned through it real quick, see if we can catch them ones that are on top. And then I'm going to run a swim bait through it. We are running out of daylight, boys. Bug, you ready for dinner? We're gonna wrap this thing up. Make a couple more casts and see if we can't wrap it up on a fish and then throw in a towel. Shit. Seriously, dude? Saw you freaking hit it. Come on, man. Because Mikey can't catch fish in the dark. Aren't they supposed to be easier to catch at night? The brush ball is easier to catch at night. Shit. I'll break that off. Well, that was spooktacular right there, boy. Alright, let me run this swim bait through and then we're going to wrap this guy up for the evening here. This is funny. I thought we could catch more on the bottom after it was. Had my hopes high. Had my hopes high. Alright. So should we wrap this thing up as it's getting dark, or should we make a few more casts? Oh, the numbers have dropped. That's what happens when I don't catch fish. But we're gonna wrap this thing up, guys. I need to go get some dinner and get Bog some dinner. Medium success. Not great, not terrible. Definitely, they seem to be up in the water column. They like that hair jig when we started off, and I should have kept them going on it. I'm just afraid to lose that hair jig. I'm surprised though we didn't catch. We didn't really catch any dragging. Even with that net, it was still reeling the net. So it is what it is. Fun day out, kind of getting some fish and making some casts, hanging out as the sun sets. But we're gonna head back to the house. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys' support for the channel. We will see you back out here. We're gonna do one more live. Probably this weekend, and then we are probably, let's see, we got a video dropping tomorrow morning. There'll be another video next week Tuesday, and then either like Friday, Saturday, something like that. I'm going to do another live, so we'll be back out here. So stay tuned on YouTube. Look for the live to pop up. But thank you guys for watching. We are out.